Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Expert Division with the qualifying round win for the Quail Hollow and the President's Cup. Before we take a closer look, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you that do want to have the qualifying round guide, you can get it just by signing up immediately and you will get access to our guide. You also get access to everything else we do for the 9-hole cups, which is obviously qualifying round guide for Master and final round guide for Master, and any videos and notes we do for Pro Division. So find your package through the QR code here on the screen or through the link that is in the description down below. Follow the info box on the right hand side to get the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there's always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. Pack the Grizzly to find min line easier. We want to play with a Kingmaker or any other ball that you have side spin 3. 3.6 backspin, 3 left spin. Now look to what I'm doing. I'm moving my target as much left that I can until it gets clipped by the tree, and then I'm moving back. I'm not really focusing on how the ball guideline looks. I'm more focusing on that specific spot. And here, adjustment is 1-to-1 plus 0.8. That's going to be what we're going to use here. And we're going to center the ball and hit perfect. If we do have other wind angles, so to speak, we're obviously going to make tweaks based off that. But here we don't need any tweaks and we're dropping it dead center for a lovely hole-in-one on hole number 1. So on the drive here on hole number 2, we're gonna go with 3 left spin, 5.8 top spin, stretch out to max, have the ball guideline to point, have the third bounce into the sand with a poke 5, 6, and 7 and 8. A poke 4 is gonna have the ball guideline pointing with the direction into the sand. Now adjust max plus 10 P3, we're gonna push up 6 yards with a poke 4 after the adjustment, and with the other clubs we're not gonna do anything. 1.5 ball of left curl, try to hit perfect. Here there is no need to play with anything else than a Kingmaker in my opinion, but you obviously can play with a win 4 ball if you would like as well. .385 yards or better is what we're looking for. On the second shot we're gonna use our thorn and we're gonna use the bottom of the white ring to do a pin check. Plus 3 is our base, and that's going to be 50% slider with a minus 10% elevation, P3 numbers. 1 right spin and half a bar of top spin. Now look at my yellow ring by the rough line, ball guideline to just go into the left side of the cup. Always in our guides we're pulling over the bullseye, and that's what we're gonna do now as well. So we're pulling over the bullseye. Then we're gonna center the ball and hit perfect. I'm just gonna correct the centering there. That's perfect. And now perfect ball it is, and we get the ball to bounce into the rough, rolls lovely into the hole dead center for a lovely eagle here in hole number 2. On hole number 3 we'll see a shot that is adapted for those of you that do have a little bit lower level clubs. I would recommend to always go with all the topspin that you can though, even if you have a club that do have more topspin. Red ring by the rough line at the top of plus 24, it is to adapt for those that do want to play with Apocalypse level 4 as well. Max plus 10 P5, push up to max, 5.8 topspin is what I'm using here, and here is where I mean that you should be going all the topspin that you possible can, because obviously the further down the fairway we are, the better it's going to be. 1 ball of left curl and we are going to go max overpower. If I forgot to mention that, we're always going to push up to max as well. Now the goal is to get that little rollout here. We do want to get above 435 yards in my opinion. We're going to have the second shot and based off our drive distance is what's going to decide what amount of topspin we're going to use. Now we want you to use the wood club that gives you the most power possible. Always 2 left spin, and here, depending on what type of drive yardage you have, that's what topspin we're gonna use. So if we're having a drive yardage that is above the 440, we're gonna use 4.5 bar topspin and 2 left spin. Stretch out to max to try to aim for the hole. Adjust is max plus 10 P5. And then we're going to go with max overpower from absolute max lines. We're always going to push up to max. This to try to simplify this type of shot where we are not pushing for the albatross at all. So max overpower, the needle is shaky, try to hit perfect. The ball will be on the green if done as we want it to be. Obviously, there will be times where we will clip the rough, especially with shorter drives. We may clip the rough with our second shot, and then we're going to have a wedge, and that wedge plays EB school plus 20, P5, no spin. On the drive, we start with the quarterback in NMT, then we're swapping to our APOC and sniper bag. We're gonna play with 3 right spin, and we're gonna play 5.8 top spin. Adjust is max plus 10 P3. And then we're gonna go with full curl to the right and max overpower with a completely slow needle. Here I value consistency. My goal here is to consistently get ourselves to a sniper that we do have a good chance to drop, and that's going to be a yardage that is approximately 340 yards. On the second shot, we are going to do a top white ring check by the fringe, and we're going to go 3 left, 4 back, and we are going to have the ball guideline just into the hole. You can see here now, top of the white ring to be just there at plus 5 is where we're at now. Obviously, when it comes to sniper 9, it's going to be plus 7 that has the same numbers as plus 5 with sniper 10. Now, adjust is going to be 40% slider, minus 10% elevation, P3 numbers, and that's going to be our base from plus 5. We're adding or subtracting 0.1 for every 2 yards. Bounces nicely on the fairway, up onto the green, and we roll dead center for a lovely eagle on a tough hole such as hole number 4. For hole number 5, we are going to look for the yellow ring to the left by the sand with the red ring to be by the rough line. Then we're going to apply whatever side spin and top spin that gets the ball guideline into the hole. And here we're going to make an adjustment that's going to be max minus 10% elevation, P0 numbers. And then we're going to make slightly curl tweaks depending on different wind angles. Center the ball and hit perfect, and this is going to be a good chance. You can see we bounce very much centered into the rough, and I've been hitting a great left, and that's fine. I have not tested for great right. On the drive, start with quarterback incomplete, max distance with a power 3 ball. White ring to the left by the rough line. Swap to APOC and sniper bag. 4 top spin, and we're going to go half a bar of right spin. Adjustment is going to be max plus 10 P2. And once we have adjusted for max plus 10 P2, we are going to go full curl to the left with max overpower with a completely slow needle. Perfect ball it is, and we see the first bounce be on the fairway, and the second bounce obviously on the fairway too, and then we roll nicely to around 355 yards. On the second shot, we're going to use a 3 right spin, and then whatever top spinner gets the ball guide line to the hole, and this is by having the top of the yellow ring to be by the rough line. It's going to be somewhere between 1.5 to 1.8 top spin generally. So finding the spot as we would like, obviously double check so it is as we want, perfect, and then we are having 66% slider with a 10% elevation, P3 numbers from +4, and then we're adding or subtracting 0.1 for every yard. Center the ball and hit perfect, and this is going to be a good chance for a drop on a tricky and somewhat fairly difficult par 5 in my opinion. You can see as well that I'm adding some left curl. We're doing some wind angle tweaks here also to be absolutely spot on. Bounce up and rolls up, and we're getting this one to drop dead center. On the drive, we start with the quarterback at max P5 line. Doesn't have to be a luminary here. You can play with a win 2, win 3, or even a win 1 if you would like to. I do recommend a win 3 ball though, as of the adjust on the second shot definitely is preferred with lesser winds. 4.8 topspin, then swap to an Apocalypse and Sniper bag, adjust max +10 P4, and then it's max overpower with a slow needle and try to hit perfect. Great left and great right are just fine, but this is a difficult par 4, a long one, and we're gonna end up with a Sniper on the second shot, which is going to be a difficult one to consistently drop. We're looking to get our drive distance to around 380 yards. On the second shot, we're gonna add spins first. The spin A, which is 2 left and 1 back. And then we're gonna push up from min, so we get the ball guideline to be 1 green square short of the pin. And you can see here how glitchy everything is, and it's all about finding a decent spot. So 1 green square before the hole, then I'm changing to 1.5 backspin and 1.5 left spin. You can see here that the offset is pretty big to the right, and sure, you can go with the ball guideline directly there, but I like to start by aiming at the hole first and then do a spin swap for more consistency. Now, when it comes to the adjustment, we are going to go rings from min with our Sniper, and we're going to use P5 numbers. And we're going to, in this instance, we're going to go no elevation, P5 numbers. And we're dropping a dead center for a lovely eagle here on a tough hole such as hole number 7. For hole number 8, we're actually going to use the Saturn level 10. All the backspin that we can. And we're going to leave the ball guideline to be into the hole, or not the ball guideline, but the second bounce is going to be in the hole. So all the backspin, and you can see here now that I'm moving to have the second bounce into the hole. And then we're going to make an adjustment that is max +90 P2 numbers. And this is going to be the do nothing angle, so we're just going to center the ball and hit perfect. This is an approach that you might didn't think we should do here on this hole, but the bunker really complicates things, and I really do enjoy having to play with a club that we might not normally play that much with. And it's a common club as well, which also makes it being a club that gets upgraded very quick. So we get past the pin, we roll back into the hole for a lovely hole-in-one here on hole number 8. And yes, max +90 power 2 ball settings. For a POC 5, 6, 7 and 8, we start with a power 4 ball in NMT, then we swap directly to a power 5 ball, wind 2 or wind 3 ball. 5.8 top spin, and we're going to use 1 left spin. For those of you playing with Apocalypse level 4, play with a power 5 ball directly from start, because then you will open up at max, and that's going to be compensated for if
by using a P5 ball compared to using a P4 ball with a POC 5 Plus. Adjust max plus 10 P3. We're going to go full curl to the right and try to hit perfect. Great right and great left are just fine. We do have a lot of fairway to play on, but we want to keep ourselves closer to the right side than to the left side, aiming for around 400 yards. Second shot, now we're going to play with our Cataclysm because we are going to be needing to use a lot of power, and the sniper won't cut it, especially if you have it in a lower level. Top of the yellow ring by the rough line with Cat 8 is going to be different overlaps with other Cat levels, obviously due to different accuracy. This is the angle we want to have, because this is a do-nothing angle. We play 2.8 backspin and 2 right spin, ball guideline through the hole. Now we're using plus 12 as our base. That's 100% slider with no elevation, P5 numbers. Center the ball and hit perfect, and we are going to bounce into the rough nicely, and we roll to get a nice albatross here from distance on hole number 9.
Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Expert Division with a qualifying round win, but you can obviously use this playthrough as influence when you play the final round come the President's Cup. Make sure to subscribe on patreon.com/golfclashtommy and get the qualifying round guide for Expert. We also have Master Guide out as well, and doesn't matter what package that includes the 9-hole cup with us, then you get access to all the content that we do for the different divisions. So sign up through the QR code or in the link through the link in the description down below. Thank you once again for watching. Good luck in your Golf Clash game.